Hey, what's going on? It is Shaime from Paradize Cafe, and this is my journey. This is my Paradise Cafe Bakery journey. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Paradise Cafe. So, this is day 2. It's not day 3, it is day 2. I just wanted to come on and go over a little bit about my journey. As you can see behind me, it took me forever to put it together. Luckily, my books did not fall over. This journey of mine is it's very tough. But I am resilient, and I feel like coming on and just speaking my mind a little bit about the procedures of owning your own bakery. When I lived in California, I basically had another home-based bakery. I had a house, and it was a little different. So let's just go back a little bit. How did I get started and wanted to do a home-based bakery in the first place, or how did I even find out? So it's a thing called cottage food law, and most states actually have them. And where I started was when it first started, basically. That was about 2019, I think. 2019, 2020. I completely messed that one up. So I started 2015 as my home-based bakery because that's when they opened up the option to do it at home. But in 2019 is when I did the farmers market. Try to get a location, and where I lived at, like, honestly, it was far. Like, we had no location, no shared location where I lived at. So I decided to do it at home, and I filled out for it. I got my business license. I got my cottage food permit, which, by the way, got to do that every year. Oh, no! So I don't think it's just a one-time thing. So after that, I was like, okay, got my license. I got everything. All right, cool. Let's start selling. You know, people are gonna come, and because my food is awesome and it's great, and people are going to call me. No, nobody's going to call you. You have to do the legwork. So I started getting business cards, and I started going into the stores, passing out my business card. I would, bake stuff and go on the streets selling, and barely sold. So I'm like, man, what is going on here? Why can't I sell my stuff? I know it's good. People tell me my stuff is good. And so I'm thinking, like, great, this is a great opportunity. Things are going to get better. People are going to call me. No, nobody called me. So I'm like, man, I know my stuff is good. My stuff is good. I know for a fact my stuff is good. So I decided, how can I get my stuff out there where it's a continuous flow? So I decided to do farmers market, and I went all the way to Hellendale. And for the people who don't know where Hellendale is, exactly, it is nowhere. Okay, it's in California, but it is far. Okay, so far that it's getting close to Las Vegas, which, by the way, that's where I'm at right now. So I go to farmer's market in Hellendale, and my stuff didn't sell right away. It was Christmas. And I thought I was gonna do great. Came home with a bunch of stuff. So I was like, oh man, I feel so defeated. I feel really defeated. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep doing this because, hey, it's not costing me a whole lot of money. I ain't gotta pay for rent. I ain't gotta pay for the time. I'm just baking my house, put it in a little plastic, put my labels on it, and then go over there. What can I do? So I was like, let's try it. Go over there, still no sales. So I'm like, man, what is going on? So I decided, as an owner, don't put your eggs in all the same basket, right? So I decided to put my bakery on hold till I could figure out exactly where to go. But it wasn't that long. It was not that long because I was like, I love baking and we got to figure this out. So I started to bounce around in Victorville and Apple Valley and Adelanto. I was dibbling dabbling everywhere. I was everywhere. Okay, I was like bouncing like a bouncing bean, just all over the place, trying to figure out where in the world am I gonna sell my stuff. What is going on? I know my stuff is good. What is going on? So it came to me that I need to go back to Hellendale. So I was like, Hellendale didn't even give me no money, so why should I go back? But this time was different. This time I started selling, and then I started selling, and then I started selling, and then I started selling. And every Wednesday I started selling. I would get customers every single week, over and over and over. My customers were seeing me every week, and there were new people every week, and there were some that came every week just for me. And so then it got a little bit more challenging to say the least. It got so challenging because the farmers market decided, you know what? Hey, you're a bakery. We need this. We need that. And they're like, can you supply this and can you supply that? And I'm like, yeah, I can supply that. Knowing good and well I know what I was doing. I ain't never made the bread that they was asking me to make. But you know, it was a challenge. It was a challenge for me. And I said, you know what? Challenges are made to be tested. So I got in my test kitchen and I started making bread. The only bread that I had made was some white bread that I had made, some dinner rolls or whatever, and they were not good at all. They were not good at all. So I started doing research. I started going in classes. I started not in school. Okay, let's be clear. It was not school that I went to. It was YouTube. YouTube and different things online where you could learn how to bake. And just be clear, I am not getting paid for none of this. So I'm not getting paid to advertise anyone's information. I'm I'm just telling you my story. I went to Craftsy and I've learned how to bake. I went to YouTube to learn how to bake. And then my baking began. And it was very short, mind you, because I had to learn how to do it really quickly because they wanted it the next week. So it wasn't like something of short where, I'm taking months to learn how to do this. No, it was literally a week figuring out how to make bread. I was 16 years old when I started working in my auntie's bakery. So that progressed. And then I decided, you know what? I do not want to bake anymore. I was sick of baking. I didn't want nothing to do with it. I went into retail. Guess what happened? Retail, food. Retail, food. Retail, food. I couldn't get away from it for nothing. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to. Lack of a better word, it was so deep in me that I didn't even know that it was deep in me like that. So I was like, okay, I give up. Obviously, baking is who I am. So that bread became a challenge, but then it did not. It did not become a challenge after that. I basically began making so many different variations of bread. I made French bread. I made wheat bread. I made white bread. I made multigrain bread. I made croutons. I made monkey bread. I made dinner rolls. I made cinnamon rolls. I made, what else did I make? I said croutons. I said croutons. Croissants. That's what it was. I made croissants. It was so many different variations that I was pushing myself to do everything. When people gave me a challenge, it was like, bet, okay, I got this. I can do this. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be making this bread. So I took that bread and ran with it. And then I thought to myself, well, you know what? We're in an era where everybody's gluten-free, vegan. So then I started dabbling in that. Now let me tell you something. I am a firm believer that just because you are vegan and just because you're gluten-free does not mean that you gotta have some nasty desserts. I'm just saying, it's like, you ain't gotta take all the good stuff out of it just because you trying to be vegan and you trying to be gluten-free. Come on now, it can still taste good, okay? It ain't gotta be nasty. Come on now. Crusty bread and crusty cakes and crusty pies, like, that you gonna leave in your refrigerator for like 3 weeks and then realize that you need to throw it away. I wanted to make sure that my baked goods were good. I wanted to make sure that when you tasted it, it didn't seem like I put anything in there, but I put a whole lot in there. And then I thought to myself, there are people out there who want to eat dessert, but they don't want to feel guilty about it. So that's when I became lighter. And Paradize Café Bakery became fresh. It became new and different. And I stretched the limit to everything that I made. I wanted to make sure that if it tasted, if I said that that's what it was, if I said it was a lemon cake, Trust me, baby. It's going to be a lemon cake, okay? It ain't gonna be no, I tasted a little bit, I tasted a little, No. It's going to taste like a lemon cake. And it's not gonna be to the point where you're, puckering your lips or, oh my God, it's too sweet. No, it's gonna be like, oh my God, like taking a lemon and converting it into something of deliciousness that only eating one bite, you'll realize that it's all gone and you've already ate it, and you're realizing that you just bought it and you ate it in less than a minute. That's how my pies was. That's how my cakes were. That's how my cinnamon rolls are. That's how my cookies are. Like, I wanted to make sure that each one is not overly sweet, but sweet just enough. Because we are fresh like paradise.